I am Drilla, and those bastards will never hurt you again. You poor thing. What did they do to you? I heard that they were keeping slaves, but I didn't think it'd gotten this bad. I've seen my fair share of trauma at the end of the order, but just one look at you, and I can see that there are so many levels to this that I can't even begin to comprehend the amount of torment they willingly put a soul such as yourself through. And they have the gall to call us monsters. What is your name, if you have one? No response? That's all right. I'll just sit right here and talk to you. You can chime in if you feel like it, all right? As I said before, I am Drilla. My mother is the Demon Queen. My species is a high level of demon known as Lilim. The Order is aware of my existence and my exploits because I have been aggressively attacking them in order to convert their land into monster territory. Not many people on the other side approve of my methods, but when I see people like you, I know that acting fast is the best way to preserve life. That look. You've heard of me, or at least of my actions. That's unfortunate. I was hoping to throw them off by making it seem like we were backtracking to cover areas we might have missed. Either they saw through my ruse, or they prepared for the worst. I apologize for any suffering you went through because of my mistake. I was scouting out at the city, watching from the rooftops, examining the walls and their integrity, and I was looking for people to corrupt that would give me an advantage by having someone on the inside and just seeing if there were any weaknesses I could exploit. But that's when the bell sounded, and I knew that they were looking for someone. I would have checked regardless, but I made it my priority because we had a kobold that was masquerading as a simple pet, and I thought they found her out. But that's when I saw you. I knew what you were the second I laid eyes on you. Torn rags for clothes, the way your eyes darted from direction to direction, and the weakness in your body that caused you to tremble randomly and uncontrollably. If you don't mind me asking, how long were you in there? Is there anyone we can take you to? Family? Old friends? A hometown? Anything? Were you always a slave? Look, you don't have to speak, but you could at least nod or shake your head. You look confused. Do you not know what that means? I guess that answers my question. Okay, look at me. Moving my head up and down like this, that's nodding. It usually means yes. Now, doing it like this, from side to side, is shaking, and it usually means no. What was that? I couldn't hear you. They didn't allow any form of non-spoken interaction. That's awful. Are you hiding your emotions? I have the ability to sense emotions. It's a trait that Lilim tend to have, and your facial expressions don't match up to what you're feeling inside. What's that you're whispering to yourself? Human, I won't pry, but I really do want to help you. So please, what were you saying just now? Don't let them see you cry. I'm sorry, but if them refers to the slavers who were telling you this, or was it a mother or a father? Maybe someone you looked up to. Oh, no. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you remember something so painful. Look, we're not slavers. I'm not a slaver. You don't need to hold anything back anymore. He was the son of your first owner. Were you close to him? So he took care of you. Said he always wanted to be a younger brother. How old were you? 4? What kind of a hellspawn uses a 4-year-old as a slave? What happened to him? They found out that he was taking care of you. And you were sold off as punishment and branded. Can I see it? What's wrong? Hey, easy. Just tell me what's wrong. You don't like people touching you when you can't see them. Okay, I have an idea. Hold this. It's a mirror I have on hand in case I ever need to track people behind me when fighting. Will that work? You'll try? Thank you. Hey, you're starting to panic. Just take deep breaths. Deep breaths for me. That's it. Good boy. Do you mind if I refer to you as good boy? You don't know what that means? Well, it's a term with multiple meanings and uses. The most common is that it's used for animal companions, but it can also be used for humans. Its primary use is to reward good behavior, but it can also be used as a term of endearment. And you're putting your trust in me, so I called you a good boy because you're working with me. I see that you've stopped panicking. That's good. I'll just remove your shirt to see the brand if you don't mind. By the Demon Queen, so many scars, so many cuts. This brand is in the center of it all. It doesn't even serve a practical use. The practical use ones are on the shoulders. This was punishment. I don't understand. You were young and it's only natural for you to gravitate towards someone showing you any level of decency. Bastards. All of them. Bastards. If I could break the rules and kill a single person, it would be the monster who gave you this. It's the size of my hand and the amount of detail that's left and the fact that it seems to be in such good condition. You poor thing. You poor thing. I'm going to get this thing off of you. Shh. It's okay. You're okay. It hurts? It shouldn't, unless it's because of how young you were when you got it. Just hold on for me, okay? You're being such a good boy. That's it. It's almost done. There. The wounds on your back are all gone. Does it feel better? You feel cold now. now, but not before. Maybe your back was so heavily damaged by years of abuse that it wasn't the brand that was hurting you, but the fact that I was restoring your sensitivity. I'm gonna move back to where you can see me. There. My God, there's more wounds on your chest. And I didn't notice it before, but your hands, they're covered in blisters and burns. Can you say something in a normal speaking voice? Anything. Just what I thought. The burns, your voice, the blisters on your hands. You worked in a forge. They clearly didn't care for your safety. No medical care, and I bet they punished those who weren't able to work. That's a lot more damage than I can heal with my basic healing. I'll work on the wounds of your skin, and then I'm gonna get you to my tent. I should have what I need to help you further. Just relax. Here we are. I'm just gonna lay you down here. It isn't much. I only take what I need on these scouting missions. You've never felt anything so soft. It's arachne silk. Even the Order purchase it. With that and wool, could they really not spare the cost to allow you even sleep? Sorry, it's just hard to wrap my mind around it. Every time I think I've seen the worst of it, something new comes and makes everything else tame in comparison. Your physical wounds are mostly healed, but that just makes the haunted look in your eyes more potent. These are all-purpose ailment pills straight from the demon realm. Highly illegal in Order territory because it has one major side effect. Alright, let me explain a few things. The first is that there are a couple of ways to quickly heal the more serious of your ailments, and it can even reverse the weakness caused by constant muscle damage, but most of those techniques require supplies that we don't have on hand right now. The other option is longer-term methods, but these will put you out of commission for a while. You'll feel good, you'll be able to talk, sleep, eat, you'll be physically weak, though. And then, there are these pills. They work, but they're mainly designed to be used by monsters. My monsters, to be specific. Not to sound like a narcissist, but I am significantly stronger than the rest of my sisters due to my constant conquests, and as such, my demonic aura is much more intense. I've been doing my best to keep it at bay, as to not have you interact with it in your state. That's why one of my girls came out so late. They were worried because they knew I had returned, but they couldn't feel my aura. Since they're constantly exposed to demonic energy, they become resistant to aphrodisiacs made from demonic energy. You don't know what that word means, do you? I assume you also don't know what sex is, or if you do know, you only know that it exists. Have you ever seen a woman that made you feel funny? Like there was a voice in your head that whispered things that didn't seem right to you? Me. I'll let that slide because I know you're being genuine. That state of mind is attached to something called arousal. The more aroused someone is, the more suggestible and weaker to members of the opposite sex they become. Of course, it could also be a source of strength, but Usually demons give off a sense of dominance that quashes the dominance of those who see us. An aphrodisiac is something that, when given, causes the state to happen on its own, whether or not the person wants it. Some aphrodisiacs, as well as normal arousal, only last for a short duration and can be ignored. Others, like manticore venom, are self-sustaining and have to be removed. Let's pretend for a second that a lesser succubus produces the weakest of all aphrodisiac aura, and we put it against manticore venom, the strongest known aphrodisiac. If I were to put a single one of these pills in relation to the two, it would be halfway between a possible middle ground and the manticore venom. It wouldn't be self-sustaining, but the level won't go down on its own. On the other hand, it will most definitely heal most of your ailments. The exception would be the muscle damage that you might have. It could reduce some of the effects and prevent any recent effects. But if you want to reach a place of normality in terms of strength, we would need a healer. If you were a slave for as long as you say, and you were always working under the order, the damage most likely has been around too long to simply reverse. I'm sorry. So, what'll it be? If you want me to get a medic who can start with the magic treatment, I'll get one right away. If not, I got all the information I need and will fix you up when we reach my main force in about 2 days. Or I could give you one of the pills. The reason why I told you about them is because I genuinely do care. What do I think? Look, you flinched away when I touched your cheek earlier. I doubt reaching a point that you let me heal your wounds and take you to my tent is enough to have me convinced that having a sexual encounter with a Lilim wouldn't cause a negative outcome on you mentally. I can be as soft as I want with you, but there's a solid chance that the only woman who can produce more pleasure than me is my mother, the Demon Queen herself, and I don't want to overwhelm you. But if you want to take one of the pills, I won't stop you. Okay. Here. Before you take it, you must know that this isn't a sensation that you've ever felt before. In fact, most humans would not have felt it before. Whatever monster helps you out of this state, you'll look at with dependence. Almost every monster would say it would be cruel to separate a human from a monster if they shared such an experience. So, before you take the pill, I have to ask, would you want a monster that isn't me? I won't lie to you. When I first laid eyes on you, I wanted nothing more than to pull you close and violate you until the only thoughts in your head were of me. But I resisted because I have your best interests at heart, and also because my entire life has been one battle after the next. I was never good at expressing myself as well as my sisters. I am not soft. I am not caring. The way I act towards you is not something that comes easily to me. Rather, it's a series of guesses that I made based on what I feel. Or at least what I feel is to be expected. I know that I want you to feel safe and loved and cared for, but if I were to be brutally honest, the sincerest thing to leave my mouth was the first thing I said. That I would make those bastards pay. After so much trauma and turmoil, wouldn't you like a soft, caring monster that's comfortable with their abilities? You really think that? You're not saying that just because I'm the one who saved you. I don't know what to say. Usually when it comes to romance, all I know is to seduce and follow through. I never thought I would find a person who genuinely wanted me for me. Okay, if this is what you want, then take the pill. It does have a pleasant taste. It's coated in Lilim nectar. If you take Lilim nectar and use it before it fully hardens, then it becomes like a candy that melts in your mouth. Of course, it would be a candy that ranks above halfway on my aphrodisiac scale. Did you swallow it? Good boy. The side effects should kick in within the next few minutes. To prepare, I'll just get a little closer to you. Is that all right? Good. Good. You're a little clingy. I guess the first few side effects are manifesting in a way that relates to your thoughts. It should also temporarily remove any mental barriers that block emotions. In a sense, this right now should be a decent representation of you once the recovery process is finished. How do you feel? Oh, you're crying. I didn't expect this. What's wrong? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hug you. It's just the first thing that came to mind. Keep hugging you? Okay. That's it. You can cry all you want. You probably haven't cried in such a long time. I can't imagine. But it's good to cry when you have to. Sometimes we just need to let out some tears to remind us we're still alive. Does that feel nice? Don't worry, I've got you. You are brave. You're a survivor. You've been through so much. It's time for you to rest now, and you don't need to keep fighting. You're safe to put everything behind you. I love you. That's right, I love you. You don't know what love is. Oh, my sweet thing, my adorable little human. Love is what you feel when you can't live without someone. There are a couple types of love, but what I feel is that I want to keep you safe, because I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I let something happen to you. I haven't known you for very long, but after hearing of your struggles and seeing your wounds, I can't help but feel sympathy for you. I want to make you feel better, to see what you look like at your best. I never believed in love at first sight, despite it being something that happens to so many monsters, but when I saw you, I knew that I had to help you. I'm not going to fix you, because that would imply something is wrong with you, when in reality there isn't. I just want to take your pain away. Does that make you feel any better? Your crying is starting to stop. Good. You're starting to feel hot. That's the pill starting to work. I can feel something poking my leg. It must really be kicking in. I'm going to remove your pants. Is that all right? Okay.